Have you ever wondered how a political figure can suddenly find themselves on the wrong side of the law? In the intricate dance of politics, this question is often more common than you might think. Today we're going to explore one such instance that took place in the bustling heart of India, the arrest of a man named Arvind Kejriwal. Kejriwal wasn't just anyone. He was the Chief Minister of Delhi, a man who had risen to power on the back of his promises to bring change, to fight corruption, and to serve the people. He was in many ways a symbol of hope for many, a beacon of change in a political landscape often marred by controversy. However, on an unexpected day in March, this political icon found himself in a situation that no one could have predicted. Kejriwal was arrested. Yes, you heard it right. The Chief Minister of Delhi, the man who had once held the reins of one of the most powerful cities in India, was now under arrest. But why? What led to this sudden and dramatic turn of events? What could have possibly happened that resulted in a man of such stature being taken into custody? Was it a case of political rivalry gone too far, or something far more sinister at play? The whispers of controversy and intrigue were everywhere, sending shockwaves through the political sphere and leaving everyone in suspense. But as we all know, every story has two sides, and every coin has a flip side. So what exactly is the other side of this coin? What led to this unusual turn in Kejriwal's political journey, and how did it all unfold? Stay with us as we delve into the twists and turns that led to the arrest of this prominent political figure. This is a story you won't want to miss. It's a tale of power, politics, and the surprising paths they can lead us down. So buckle up, because we're just getting started. Every story has a beginning, and in this case, the seeds of controversy were sown much earlier. Let's rewind the clock a little. The tale begins with Kejriwal, a man known for his determination and persistence. His journey, marked by a series of significant events, decisions, and statements, started to take a pivotal turn which eventually led to his arrest. Kejriwal's political career has always been characterized by his audacious stance against corruption. His vocal criticism, often directed at high-ranking officials, began to ruffle feathers. He was never one to bite his tongue, and this fearlessness was both admired and scorned. The man was no stranger to controversy. His tenure as chief minister was marked by a handful of decisions that many considered to be controversial. His inclination towards unconventional methods often led to friction with the existing political establishment. He was a disruptor, a game-changer, a maverick who played by his own rules. Then came a series of statements that further intensified the situation. Kejriwal's comments on certain policies and key figures were met with strong backlash. His words, sharp as arrows, left no room for ambiguity. His intent was clear and his conviction unwavering. As the months rolled on, Kejriwal continued to push boundaries, challenging the status quo with his relentless pursuit of justice. His actions, however, were not without consequences. There was a growing sense of unease and tension that hung heavy in the air. It was like watching a high-stakes chess game. Each move, calculated and deliberate, was leading to an inevitable showdown. Kejriwal was unyielding in his stance, and his opponents equally resolute. Every decision, every statement, every incident was like a piece of a puzzle, gradually forming a picture that was both complex and intriguing. The plot was thickening, the tension was building, and the stage was being set for a dramatic climax. As the situation escalated, it was clear that a storm was brewing. In every drama, there's a moment when the situation reaches a point of no return. This was the case in the saga of Kejriwal's arrest. There was a particular incident that tipped the scales, a defining moment that sealed Kejriwal's fate and propelled him into a whirlwind of legal troubles. A controversial press conference, a fiery speech, a defiant stance against the establishment, and the inevitable backlash that followed. Kejriwal, the seasoned political player, had always been known for his audacious moves. But this time he had crossed a line that many believed was a step too far. His words, broadcasted live across the nation, resonated with some but alarmed others. A storm had been stirred, and it was ready to engulf the political landscape. The reactions were swift and varied. The public, always an unpredictable entity, was divided. Some saw Kejriwal as a hero, a voice speaking truth to power. Others viewed him as a rabble-rouser, a troublemaker stirring the pot for his own political gain. The lines were drawn, and the stage was set for a showdown. Other politicians, both allies and adversaries, watched this unfolding drama with bated breath. Some were quick to criticize, seeing an opportunity to gain political mileage. Others remained silent, perhaps wary of the implications. The political arena was charged with tension, a tinderbox waiting for a spark. And then there was the media, the ever-watchful eye of the nation. They pounced on the story, dissecting every word, analyzing every move. The headlines screamed scandal, the news channels buzzed with debates, and the social media platforms were ablaze with opinions. The media circus, in its relentless pursuit of the story, added fuel to the fire. In the midst of this storm, the wheels of justice began to turn. The authorities, perhaps feeling the pressure or perhaps acting on their own accord, decided it was time to intervene. The tipping point had been reached, the line had been crossed, and the die had been cast. And then the unthinkable happened. The day had arrived when the law finally caught up with Kejriwal. The sun rose like any other day, but the air was thick with anticipation. The city was abuzz with whispers and murmurs as the news of Kejriwal's impending arrest spread like wildfire. The charges against Kejriwal were serious, yet shrouded in a cloud of uncertainty. The authorities remained tight-lipped about the specifics, merely stating that they were acting in accordance with the law. The vagueness only served to heighten the suspense, as speculation ran rampant. As the day progressed, the tension was palpable. It felt as if the entire city was holding its breath, waiting for the inevitable. And then it happened. Kejriwal was taken into custody, in a move that sent shockwaves through the nation. The immediate aftermath of the arrest was a whirlwind of reactions. Supporters rallied around Kejriwal, decrying his arrest as a political move to silence a vocal critic. Detractors, on the other hand, saw it as a long-overdue reckoning, a just consequence for perceived wrongdoings. The media was abuzz with speculations. Analysts pored over every detail, attempting to piece together the puzzling series of events leading up to the arrest. Social media platforms were flooded with hashtags and trending topics as the public grappled with the sudden turn of events. The sentiments following the arrest were a mixed bag. There was shock, outrage, satisfaction, and even a sense of foreboding. The arrest of such a high-profile figure was bound to have far-reaching implications, and the nation braced itself for the inevitable fallout. As the dust began to settle, one question hung heavy in the air, a question that would continue to echo in the days and weeks to come. But the question remained: why did it come to this? It was a question that demanded answers. Answers that would hopefully shed light on the complex, intricate web of events that led to this defining moment. Now let's unravel the reasons behind the arrest. The arrest of Kejriwal was not a sudden decision. It was the culmination of a series of events and controversies that had been brewing for quite some time. The reasons were multifaceted, ranging from legal to political and even social. Firstly, on the legal front, Kejriwal faced allegations of corruption, a bitter irony given his staunch stance against this very issue. The charges were serious, involving misuse of power and embezzlement of funds. These allegations, backed by substantial evidence, were the primary legal reasons leading to his arrest. Moving on to the political reasons, Kejriwal's arrest was further fueled by his turbulent relationship with the central government. His constant clashes with the ruling party and his unapologetic criticism of their policies didn't sit well with the powers that be. The tension escalated to a point where it became nearly impossible for the two sides to coexist peacefully. Lastly, let's delve into the social implications. Kejriwal, a figurehead for the common man, had always advocated for transparency and accountability in governance. His arrest was seen as a direct affront to these principles, leading to widespread public outrage and protests. The social unrest further complicated the situation, adding yet another layer of complexity to the narrative. So when we connect the dots, we see a pattern, a chain of events leading up to the arrest. This wasn't just about a single incident or a simple disagreement. It was about a series of confrontations, an accumulation of allegations, and an ongoing battle between differing ideologies. Kejriwal's arrest was not an isolated incident, but a significant event in a broader political narrative. It was a moment that brought the underlying tensions and conflicts to the surface, forcing everyone to confront the realities of the political landscape. And there you have it, the dramatic saga of Kejriwal's arrest, a story that continues to unfold,